For this segment of Catch Carri, we are at the Kirkland Museum of Fine and Decorative Art with a fine gentleman here, Mr. Hugh Grant, who is in charge of all of this amazing artwork that you'll see here of Mr. Kirkland's, a different Colorado artist, and art from across the nation and internationally. And Mr. Grant is such a wealth of knowledge because he actually knew Mr. Vance Kirkland, and I could say maybe was even almost a role model.
Yes, you're right.
And so what can you tell me about this painting specifically, which seems to have a funny story behind it?
Yes. Well, Kirkland had a lot of funny stories about several of his paintings, because he made them up out of his own mind. Although in this case, this is based on an actual site in Rome, on the Palatine Hill, and it's called Patina del Palatino, which is a patina on the Palatine Hill. And so Vance was telling me this, and I said, well, so what does that mean? It's a patina. He said, well, it's the surface. It's grass and mud trampled by tourists. So I said, well, so is this the mud and the grass? And he goes, yes, that's right. As if how could I not have seen that? And then I said, well, what's the white? And he said, well, I think a child dropped an ice cream cone. And he seemed very, very pleased with the idea. So he said then, the great part of the story is that he said, so this is actually, people think this is, they say this is an abstract painting, but he said, this is exactly what it looked like. This is not an abstract painting, it is a realist painting. So Vance had this wonderful sense of
So don't be fooled when you come to visit, and you will have the story behind this. And besides seeing amazing works of art from Mr. Kirkland, another great part that you'll see here is these bridges. This was his actual studio where he painted, and these suspension lines he would lay across, and you'll notice his dot paintings, and he was able to lay thousands, at least thousands of dots, each one separately. And these are, of course, his paintings and books. And I'm sure you spent a lot of time in here growing up, Hugh.
I did, actually. I would help him in and out of the straps at times, although he could do it himself. But, he had to do this because even before the dots, he was doing mixtures of oil paint and water. And that is, in fact, what's under the dots. And so it makes the dot paintings work because you have these wonderful free forms. And sometimes he would just have the paintings without the dots. But then eventually he was doing the dots on top of the oil and water. And so he would, but they'd have to be done flat. And once you take a very large painting and you put it flat on a table, you're in deep trouble because you can't bend over. You'd be bending over, working
smudging.
On it. Yeah. I know. Dropping
He never
things.
had paint all over his arm because he was so meticulous about the way he worked, I'm sure.
But he didn't want me to tell it.
So inside the doors of the Kirkland Museum here at 13th and Pearl is several fascinating works of art that you have to come